They're not predictions, they're not forecasts, I'm not Nostradamus, but I've got stuff that I want to see Sunday night. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Steelers versus Jets is an 8:22 p.m. kickoff Sunday at Acrisure Stadium. And in what's fast becoming a Friday staple on this program, here are 5 things I'd like to see. Number 1, and boy is this boring, run the football. But here's what I'll stress within that. Run it so often and so effectively that it renders the passing game moot. Look, I'm not about to bring out the pom-poms here. We have no idea what Russell Wilson's going to be able to do after 10 months of inactivity behind an offensive line that's just being held together by paper clips, and with only George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth to throw to. We also have no idea what kind of rushing total you'll get for the team without Justin Fields accounting for 50 or 60 of it the way he's done. So run it. Run it like mad. Run it with all the bigs. Run it not just with Najee Harris, but with Jaylen Warren as well. The Jets have Sauce Gardner and some great corners. They don't give up a whole lot through the air. Just run it. That's what I want to see. 2, I want to see Alex Highsmith remind everybody of his value. Look, I'm not an exception to this. I wanted as well to see more of Nick Herbig. But the way I was looking at it was, get him out there as part of some 3 outside linebacker package, which to their credit, they did conceive before both Highsmith and Herbig got hurt. But now, and especially after Indianapolis, you got to see what it's like when the opponent can target a side of your defense. Yeah, Herbig did okay. I'm not, bashing him or anything. But if you're even casually aware of how good TJ Watt is at this, he gets all the credit and he should for all the splash, but he's just so solid against the run. And you put Alex on the other side, you're taking a big weapon away from that opponent. And in this case, you're taking away Breece Hall, who just dropped 113 on the Bills on just 18 carries. Have to contain him, but I mean that literally. Contain him. Force him into the middle. Let Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton do their thing on the middle. Number 3, and I could use this one every week, but I'm going to try to resist. I want to see a Minkah Fitzpatrick interception. That's not laying it on him. He's a terrific football player if he never gets his hand on the ball. But you are not going to find many opposing quarterbacks who are going to have the guts to go anywhere near Minkah. And that's still the main reason that Minkah's not getting picks. I know nobody wants to hear that, but try to picture in your head how many passes defensed he's had, how many times somebody's beaten him in coverage. It doesn't happen, and that's because nobody wants to go near him, and doubly so if you've got an inexperienced or lesser quarterback. Think about the quarterbacks the Steelers have faced in going 4-2. Okay, now think about Aaron Rodgers, who wasn't worried about going at Troy Polamalu in the Super Bowl. He sure isn't going to worry about Minkah. And if there's enough pressure on Rodgers, who is not half the runner that he used to be, maybe he can be forced into some sort of ego-based mistake, and Minkah gets off the schneid and doesn't have to get mentioned on next Friday's episode. When we come back, J1Q. Luxenberg, Garbett, Kelly & George is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents injured people in automobile accidents, workers' compensation cases, and medical malpractice claims. The attorneys at Luxenberg, Garbett, Kelly & George pride themselves in doing what they say they're going to do. It's important to them that when they make you a promise, they keep that promise. And this law firm has been keeping promises for over 80 years. Luxenberg, Garbett, Kelly & George has been AV rated That's the highest rating a law firm can receive for legal ability and ethics, and the lawyers at the firm have been designated super lawyers, that's a real thing, for over 15 years. Rare combination there. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly, and George has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them at lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. Again, that's 888-842-5454. Today's J1Q comes from Sam, who asks DK, how does Russell Wilson fix 2nd and 9 or 3rd and 8? Does he hand the ball off better than Justin Fields? That makes no sense. You know, Sam, I feel compelled, especially after these past 5 days, to point out yet again that I don't have any kind of wish for him to not do well. It would be wonderful for the Steelers if Wilson's the best version of himself, if Wilson ends up being the best fit for this offense, if the players all take to Wilson the way they did to Fields, and all that other good stuff makes for way more compelling content, trust me. I'm not one of those people who hangs on to something and says, look at that, I'm right, I've been right all along. That doesn't interest me. That said, I don't have your answer. Mostly because if you think about the main reasons that Mike Tomlin and or Arthur Smith would want Wilson in there, it would be to do Wilson-like things. You're not going to reinvent him at age 36. This is the quarterback who led the NFL in passes behind the line of scrimmage last year in Denver. You're going to see sideways passing from him. This is not, as a lot of you have communicated in this direction this week, and I do, by the way, read everything, someone who's likely to re-spark Pat Freiermuth because he has never had a history of throwing across the middle for obvious reasons. He's had to scramble to his left and to his right just to see because he's not the biggest guy. So your upgrade, or your potential upgrade here, is that he's better at finding George Pickens. That's possible. He's better at noticing whenever Calvin Austin or Van Jefferson get open. Also possible. But are those things enough? Are those things enough to cancel out Fields' ability to scramble away? And I don't mean scramble for his life. I mean scramble for real positive yardage. I don't have that answer. Maybe we'll have it Sunday night. Maybe it'll be really glowing and awesome and everything else, and the Steelers' offense will take on a whole new vibe and a whole new feel, and you'll hear a whole new me on Monday's show. But what I do here is I share with you what I'm feeling in the moment, and I'm not feeling any of that in this moment. So, go ahead out there and make it happen. Heck, get Fields involved. Tomlin said earlier this week he wasn't ruling that out. Of course he's going to say that because he doesn't want to give the Jets coaching staff some sort of easy out. But maybe you get to a certain spot on the field where you say, hey, we're going to throw them a completely different look, and even if they somehow sniff it out, Fields is going to be able to outrun them to the edge and get the touchdown. Kind of like those situations the other day in Las Vegas. Or a 4th and 1 or something like that. But hey, to stay consistent to the Friday themes here, what I'd like to see Sunday night is exactly what I just described. Let's see Wilson. Light it up. Let's see it. I mean, who would root against someone who gave this answer yesterday on the South Side whenever Russ was asked what he can do to elevate the offense?
I think, first of all, Justin's done a great job. I think he's a tremendous quarterback. I've gone against him over the years. He's a tremendous football player, a great teammate, and all that. And I think more importantly for us, as we continue to go on through the season, we want to get better and continue to grow. That's always the goal every year, right? Is continue to progress, to continue to get better from game in to game out. You know, as you go on from game 6 to game 7, 7 to 8, you want to just keep rising, keep getting better. And you know, I think the best thing for us is, you know, just focusing on winning this week. You know, nothing else down the road, nothing else, and just being in the moment, man, embracing the moment. Man. We get to play the best game in the world, and the game of football. You know, get to do it with 10 other guys in the huddle. You know, there's a great group of guys in this team, and leadership and everything else. So that's what we're focused on, just continue to get better every day.
I mean, that's a classy answer from a guy who's been a really classy teammate to Fields. And that's worked in both directions. Russ could have said, well, my skill set is this and this and this, and I'm going to carry this team to whatever. No, he began the answer by saying, listen, before we talk about elevating anything here, the guy who just quarterbacked the first 6 games was pretty good. Who'd be hoping for that guy to fail for any reason? I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers, and we'll be back with another one of these on Monday, and I'm guessing it'll be a pretty lively episode.